Okay, so today's project is the village animated skating pond, which you saw at the beginning of the video. And the idea with these little guys is when you turn it on, these little folks skate around in these patterns on the top. Very cute. And I would show you, except it's broken. Okay. So we're going to try to fix it, and I use the word try. So let me show you what the problem is. Again, you saw them skating around at the beginning of the video, so that's what it's supposed to look like. So these just come off of here. And the way this works, I'll show you the magic. Just have to be a little careful because I've taken everything apart already. So I had to cut off the bottom of it, and then this panel drops down. Let me zoom back again here. Hang on. So this one comes away. I don't want to pull on it too hard, and I'll show you what's there. This is what's underneath there, and in between these two, so I'm going to show you these two. In between these two is this motor is mounted. Get this out of the way. This motor is mounted underneath this one, and a pivot arm, which I need to go get, hang on, like this, hooks onto the motor through this panel here, and as the motor turns, there's a little arm that goes on it, and I'll show you all this. But then this goes around, and the skaters are stuck to these magnets, and the pattern that they go around is what the skaters do. So it's a very clever idea. The problem was the skaters would get stuck, and again I'm going to zoom in because I'm going to show you this motor here. So I couldn't quite tell what was going on inside the motor until I pried open the lid. You can do that by prying these edges open around the motor's top. Then this part will lift off, and voila! You have a motor underneath in this bottom part of the cavity, and on top you have, in essence, the gearing down, or the transmission, if you might, of the thing. And there was a gear right here, which I'll show you right now. Hopefully it's dry. That was had split, and here it is right here. So what I did was I tried to glue it together, and the split was, if you can see that little focus right there where that brown line is, that focus. So the problem is this was pushed onto this spindle. You can see the little teeth marks there, teeth in that metal part, and the plastic gear was slipped onto it, and it was a good tight fit. Problem is that it eventually made that gear split. And the gear would come around to where the skaters were, and it would hit right about there on that gear, and it would stop. So that is not good. So now what we're going to do is put this back together and see if the gears will go around. Because I've now taken this and I shaved, I'll shave the inside of this white gear just a little bit so that this gear is not such a tight fit. And then I put super glue down into the crack and around the edges of this so that this is now solid in there, it's glued in, and that crack shouldn't open up, I hope. So let's try that out. Okay, so this is the gear that's going to come around. There's the split. That gear will come around, and it may stop there. That's where it stopped before, is when that split got up to that spot. So let's try it out here. Okay, that looks pretty smooth. Good. Yeah. Okay, maybe we got it. All right, so I've put the lid back on. I had to bend it a little because I'd deformed it a little getting it off of there. So let's try this. That's looking pretty good. I don't see any hiccups in it. That's what was happening before. All All right, maybe time to reassemble it then. Let's go ahead and put the arm on there and see what that does. All right, so that's put back together. There's the motor under here. That's the little screw through it. This is that plate I showed you with the arm. And there's a little pivot arm here that comes out right there. So I'm going to turn it on. And keep in mind, this goes over the top. Well, you can see those. There we go. Is that those patterns are being formed by these magnets down here. So keep an eye out. All right, you can sort of see the outline of it along here where it's ridden before. It's a very clever design. You get some interesting geometrical shapes. And so far, so good. Now, the difficulty was when I put more than one skater on here, that really jammed it up, because that gear would get locked up. So let's put this other thing back on top, and then we'll try the skaters out on it. Okay, so let's give it a try here. And there they go, they're off. Interesting to know that those magnets are under there. And the manufacturers have also figured out how to make sure that the poles of the magnet help keep the skaters lined up so that they're facing forward for the most part. Do you notice that? Even if I take the skater off and turn them around, they kind of do the... So I'm going to do this here. Where are you? Oh, magnet, there we go. So there she is backwards, and whoop, she turns around. So very clever. I think our fix is working. So I guess we can reassemble it. Yep, looks very good.